a special total chaos for you today. We're talking NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs for this Wednesday, May the 26th. I've got our NHL champ up top, Nick Parsons from the Insiders Room. How's it going, friend?
It is going fantastic. Looking forward to a little bit of the playoff chaos.
Yes, playoffs chaos. I love that. Your opponent today is Cam Ross. How's it going, Cam?
It's going. Right now is one of my favorite times of year, other than late October, early November, when all three major sports are playing.
Right.
When we have multiple playoffs, it's just a good time.
It is a good time. Well, let's not forget about March, but yes, it is a good time.
Oh, of course. We never forget about March. Duke, baby.
That's where it's at. Go Duke. So if you guys are over at picksandparlays.net, don't forget to use our promo code HISTORY. It saves 20% off the entire site. That includes the premium plays from Nick Parsons and from Cam Ross. Cam, you put this in my head, but an idea for the Picks and Parlays View crew, you can get Nick Parsons' picks and Cameron Ross's picks, get both of their packages and save 20% on all that jazz. How you like them apples?
Yeah, just pull up on us.
Yeah, no big whoop. If you're just joining us, give us that thumbs up. Here's how Total Chaos works. I'm going to give them the 3 NHL playoff games that happen on Wednesday, the 3 NBA playoff games that happen the same day, and they're going to tell me if they go over or under. Whoever gets the most correct comes back next week as the Total Chaos playoffs champion. Are you guys ready to roll?
Let's rock. Let's do
roll.
it.
All right. Nick, you're going to go first. We are talking the Wizards at the 76ers. The number is 230.5. How are we going to play this?
Well, the first game went over. 118, 125 was the score there. Now, of course, when you think of these two teams, you think of high-scoring offense and not much defense. But I think you'd be surprised to learn that Washington has seen the over-under go 37 and 36 this year. So it's really even. The odds makers have been right on that line there. And Philly, 35 and 38. Over under, so it's been hitting the under more over on the year overall. So listen, that first one went over. I'm going to go under in the second game here, guys.
Under we go. Cam, do you agree or disagree?
No, unfortunately, I don't agree. Yeah, this is going to be the 5th time this year these two have played. There's been 2 unders and 2 overs. There was one game. There was 170 or 270 plus points. The Wizards did cover the first game, I think, by a half point. But the Wizards are outmatched in this series, and I think the only chance the Wizards have is to push the ball, is to get up and down the floor. And the Wizards, they're going to shoot the ball better in this game. It seems the trend is everybody's getting smoking hot from 3. It's probably going to happen again in this game. I think this one's going to go over. I do think the Sixers are going to win again. But I think the Wizards' only chance is to try to run the score up.
All right, so we disagree, but that's okay. Someone has to win the game. That's going to happen. Cam, keep us rolling with the Hawks at the Knicks. 212.5 is what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, we saw 212 in the first game of this series as Trae Young scored right there at the end to put it over. These two teams played 3 times in the regular season. Twice it went over this number that we have. One time, the last game of the regular season, it shattered up in the 160s. I think the Knicks are going to try to slow the pace here. But the Hawks shoot a lot of free throws. Both teams shoot a lot of free throws. And the Knicks seem to play to the pace of the Hawks. The Knicks also have a big crowd. I don't know if anybody saw that. Spike Lee was right there on the bench. I think it's just going to pump up the atmosphere. And I think 212 isn't quite enough. I think this one will get over as well.
All right, Nick, what do you say?
I'm going over as well. Actually, the game one, it almost went over. So it went under that first game. It came really close. But yeah, no, I agree with Cam. I mean, New York obviously is known for its tough defensive play, top 10 defensive team here. But the last thing the Knicks can do is sit back and not be the aggressor here and go down 0-2 to this dangerous Atlanta Hawks team. I mean, when you look at that line, it opened New York was just a -1.5 favorite, or was it Atlanta -1.5 in that first game? Either way, it's so close, these two teams. New York has to push the pace. It can't go down 0-2. I think this one sneaks over as well.
All right. So we do agree. That one ended up at a pick'em. I remember that because I was on the Knicks.
It was a pick'em at tip. It was a
Yeah.
pick'em.
But it did open. I think it was the Knicks -1. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, so the Grizzlies, Nick Parsons, are at the Jazz, and 218 is the number there. So where do we go here?
Well, the first one went over, and I'm gonna say the second one goes over as well. And sort of for the same reason about New York there. Utah obviously losing outright to Memphis, who was like an 8-point dog in that game. Memphis rolled over its 2 play-in victories and won that first game there. But now Utah should have a full lineup. What's his head is slipping my his name there is slipping my tongue.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yes, he will be returning. He was super angry that he was left out of game 1 there. So listen, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. The Jazz, they got to bring their A game here. I'm going over.
Cam, are we in agreement on this one as well?
Yeah, I am going to agree here. You know, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Donovan may be this, Donovan may be that." You know, he's an NBA player. People don't understand just because a guy's not playing, it doesn't mean he's sitting just over there watching. You know, it doesn't mean he's not doing anything. This is the 5th time these two teams have played this year. 3 of the 4 games have gone over this number, with the only game not going over this number hit 218 exactly. I agree with what he said. I think the Jazz have to come out. The Jazz are going to shoot much better. They were 12 for 45 or something like that from 3. They're not going to shoot that bad again on their home floor. They have fans as well. This one's going to go over. Don't know the number, don't know the line, but I do think the Jazz are going to win this game and push this one over.
All right. Strong words. Strong words. Okay, now we're moving into the NHL playoffs. Cam, you're going to start off this round. Keep it rolling. Pittsburgh Penguins at the New York Islanders. 5.5 is the number here.
Yeah, you know, Pittsburgh was in a really, really good spot in this series, and then they've laid an egg the last 2, dropped them both. Now they have to go into unfamiliar territory. You know, they got to go to New York, play game 6 with their life on the line. Pittsburgh is, I believe, the number 2 ranked offense in the league. They've only scored 3 total goals over the last 2 games, both losing efforts. I think Pittsburgh's going to push this pace. I think Pittsburgh's going to get out and run, try to get the Islanders off their game. Pittsburgh's probably going to try to score every chance they get, try to win this game. Pittsburgh, to me, is going to score probably 4 goals at least. I think Pittsburgh's going to win and push this number over the total.
Nick Parsons, I know we just did a free pick on this one. I did not ask you about the total because I didn't want to give anything away. What do you think?
Well, I think that this series is going to go to a game 7. I think that Pittsburgh blew a big opportunity there at home. It's a much better home team than it is on the road. It's basically even on the road there. The Islanders are not as good on the road, but they managed that win there. And so I think at this price that the Islanders are a good play at home here to push it to a game 7. And to correlate along with that pick, I'm going to say that this one goes under. I think that these are 2 of the best. Cam did point out Pittsburgh is a fantastic offensive club, but they are also a really great defensive club. That is the Islanders' strength here. And so because I think that the Islanders are going to push to a game 7, I'm going to go under.
Okay, so another disagreement on the first one out. Parsons, keep it rolling. Florida Panthers are at the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we've got 6 as our number here.
Okay, so yes, this has been an interesting series. It's been going sort of back and forth, overs and unders. The last game went under there. Florida, got the 4-1 victory. Listen, I'm going to go with the over here. The last thing that Tampa wants to do is go back to Florida. It's coming off the loss where it only scored the 1 goal. I think that it opens everything up here. I think this will be a much faster paced, higher scoring game. I'm going over in this one.
Cam Ross.
Yeah, I agree. You know, this is even with Tampa having the lead in the series 3-2, this is their last home game of this series. This is a do or die to me in this situation for Tampa to try to get this done. Don't want to go back to Florida tied up. Fans are back in the building. It's going to be a hostile crowd. I think the Lightning will lean on their offense. I think Braden Point will play well. I do think this one will go over. because both of these teams have scored a lot of goals against each other. They've seen each other a bunch of times this season. They've seen each other. This is the 6th game of this series. Both teams are going to come out running and gunning. I think this one's going to go over.
Okay, so we agree again. Now the most important game of the night. My Vegas Golden Knights, Minnesota Wild. The number's 5.5. Cam, what do you say?
The Golden Knights in the series. They're moving on. They're going to win. They blew it. They hurt my soul last night. I had them.
That was ugly.
I had them. Unfortunately, I ran into a little bit of bad luck.
Oh, shut up. That was not me.
But I do think this one's going to go over. I think Vegas, they outshot the Wild last night 3-1, something like that, and just couldn't find the net. I think tomorrow night they find the net. They kept saying over and over last night, Vegas has never secured a playoff series at home.
At home, yeah.
They're back on the road. This is where Vegas plays the best, apparently, in the playoffs. I think Vegas is going to score several goals in this game. I do think the Wild will get a couple, but I think this one's going to go over.
Nick, what do you say?
I agree with Cam. Minnesota is going to get a couple here. When you think of these two teams, you think of really tight defense, but it's really Vegas, which is really I think they are the number one defense goaltending in the entire league. But Minnesota's middle of the pack, 2.84 goals per game. That's 15th. So, Minnesota can't sit back and wait for this disciplined Vegas team to make the first mistake. They have to be the aggressor again here. They have to push the pace. That's going to leave them open on the back end to this opportunistic Knights team. So I'm definitely going over as well.
All right. Well, that is a round. We're going to do a quick recap. But before we do, I want to remind everybody you can find Nick Parsons over at the Insiders Room. That's also the name you can find him on at the picksandparlays.net site if you're looking for premium picks. Cameron Ross is at I_am_Cam20. That's where you find him on Twitter. Cameron Ross on the site. And when you're at picksandparlays.net, use the promo code HISTORY. Pretty sure it's that because Phil Mickelson had that win.
Nice.
History saves you 20% over at picksandparlays.net. All right, so we are going to grab a pen and paper, take some notes. When these guys agree on a pick, those tend to be the money plays, all right? So with the Wizards, the number's 230.5. Nick is going under, but Cam is taking it over. The Hawks are at 212.5. Both of these guys say that goes over. Just like they say the Grizzlies, 218, not enough points. That's cruising over too. Pittsburgh Penguins in the NHL, 5.5 is the number. Cam says over, Nick says under, but we agree. Florida Panthers, the number is 6. We're taking that one over, and we're taking the VGK Vegas Go Knights Go over 5.5 goals. All right, guys, that was an excellent round. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. Like I always say, may the best capper win.
Thanks, Elliot. Good luck, Cam.
Good
All
luck.
right, you guys. Thanks a lot.